So today I'd like to talk about Jim Rohn, who's the well-known personal development expert or guru who has now passed, but lots of people credit him with being an inspiration or mentor, and even personal development experts or gurus that are currently touring, doing speaking engagements, or writing books or doing YouTube will credit him with them being inspired to join the field, or credit him with some level of their success. And Jim Rohn has really worked the spectrum with personal development, as far as thinking, your mindset, finances, goal setting, time management, just anything you could probably think of, he's talked about somehow. So earlier I was listening to some of his audio while working out, and one of the things he brought up when talking about finances was don't spend the whole dollar. Out of every dollar you have coming in, he suggested only spend 70 and then break the remaining 30 down to 10, 10, 10. And the first 10 was for charity, or some meaningful project that you would like to donate to, some good cause. So some examples he used was, your local church, or, some charities that are doing good for the world. The second 10% he said was for profits, and one of the examples he used was a little bit outdated price-wise, but the example still gets the point across. Was a little kid goes out to the neighborhood, buys a broken wagon for $1, fixes it up, cleans it up so it looks nice, and it's not broken anymore, paints it, makes it good, makes it usable, sells it for $5, makes a $4 profit. You might not always see that kind of a gap. You might not always buy that cheap and make that much profit, but the idea remains the same. Take something, fix it up and sell it for a profit. So that's the second 10%, and then the third 10% would be capital, and invest it or lend it to someone else. And the way Jim Rohn described it was, you would take that 10% and let someone else use it to make a profit for them, and they would pay you interest for using your money. Basically at that point you're becoming a lender or a bank, loaning your money so that other people can try to make money, and then you profit from that in the form of interest on your money. So only spend 70% for 70% of every dollar. You're using 10% for charity, and then 10% and another 10% to try have your money make more money for you. And the reason why it's split up two different, the 20% split up between two different ways is just so that all your eggs aren't in one basket and then you drop the basket, break all your eggs. You don't have it invested all in one thing and then something goes sideways. You have some of it invested in a few different things, and then you see a return. As far as profit, if you have a business and you sell your product or service, that kind of return is a little bit more tangible as far as the time frame, whereas if you're lending money, that might be more long term. So if you're trying to take money to make money, you kind of want to look at, do you want short term, long term, a mix of the both? The short term money, you can take 5 and make it 7, and then take that 7 and make it 10. You can keep short term, to grow it exponentially. But then, the long term, you might be taking 10 to make it 20, but it's going to take a longer time, which is why you're getting more in return. And these are just numbers I'm throwing out there to kind of give you an idea. There's no guarantee on what kind of percentage return you'll see on any kind of investment or any kind of sale. And going back to personal development, you want to work harder on yourself than you do on your job, so that you then become more valuable. Jim Rohn talks about you don't get paid for the time you spend at your job, but you get paid for the value you bring to your job. So he gives an example of, if you get paid $20 an hour, you're not getting paid $20 an hour just for that single hour. You're being paid $20 for what you bring to that hour, because otherwise you could just sit at home and your employer would send you that $20. Well, no, you're not bringing any value by sitting at home, so they won't send you $20 for sitting at home. If you go in and flip burgers for McDonald's, you're gonna get minimum wage. Or if you're lucky and they're looking for, or maybe you might get a couple of dollars more than minimum wage. But because the skills for flipping burgers or taking orders at the register is vastly different than the skills for being a doctor or a mechanic. The value someone at McDonald's brings to that hour compared to the value a doctor or mechanic would bring to the hour is vastly different. And yes, you have to spend years in some cases to learn to become a doctor, and then years of experience, putting in practice to become competent. The value is vastly different than someone that could have dropped out of high school and still get a job at McDonald's. And a lot of people will, complain like, oh, I don't make enough money. Well, what skills could you learn that would help you bring more value to your job? Or, if you're only potentially going to be getting 50 cents, a dollar, here and there by, improving your skills and attitudes. Okay, what could you learn to potentially get a new job? So not everyone's going to be able to, go through years of schooling an internship to become a doctor, but maybe you could make a shift from flipping burgers and taking orders at at McDonald's, or making coffee at Dunkin's. Maybe you could shift from that to being a bank teller, and then learn more about banking, and go from being a bank teller to a mortgage loan officer. Like just think ahead and make a plan that'll keep you making more and more money. So hopefully you found some value in this, and maybe consider hitting subscribe and the bell notification so you can see when I post some new videos. Thanks, and have a good day.